Holy smokes, do the boys and I have a long one for you today. Pure install bliss. For a good reason though. We just dropped our Superlock front lower control arms for the Z34 370z, V36 and G37 chassis. One of the coolest, most feature-rich products we've dropped to date. We're going to be completely glossing over the box shimmy as Zach threw out his shoulder in the process of lifting this giant box. This has been long needed for the Z34 chassis, and it complements our bolt-on angle kit and the OEM knuckle super well. The main bodies of these parts have been cut from the finest 4130 Chromoly Steel we could find, and they have a large smattering of features that I will be going over during this epic of a video. Let's get to the get what you get in the box part, starting with the dust boots. If you've been under a rock and not ever seen one of our other videos, you'd know that these are optional, as our bearings are PTFE lined, but you do have these just in case you so desire to use them. Now I will say that these dust boots offer you 100% more protection than the COVID booster they keep pushing on you. Just saying. Next up are the lower caliper bolts. The stock suckers are huge and tall and don't work with the kit, so we provide you with some sleek low pro button head bolts. Stylish yet useful. Then you get the ball joint shank. It sits inside the OEM knuckle and goes through the spherical ball joint side of the arm, which we'll showcase shortly. Next is the compression arm mounting bracket. These only install one way and allow the compression side of our lower control arm assembly to mount to the OEM subframe. Then you have the damper mounting bracket, which bolts to the LCA itself and allows adjustment of where the damper sits, as well as adjustment of the sway bar and link pin for those of you that know how suspension works. You can tweak to your heart's content. It also includes the link pin spacers, which we'll get to in a bit. Then we have the compression arm of the LCA assembly. This heavy boomerang that Zach has power lifted up to the screen for you all has all the hardware needed to bolt it to the lateral arm, as well as our super high-tech fancy adjuster end, which has on-car caster adjustment, an internal jam nut, an external pinch bolt clamp thing, and it's all in one little package right there at the end. This also houses our PTFE line common size bearing, which threads into said adjustment system. From there we get the lateral arm up on the screen. This bolts to the compression arm, making up the entirety of the lower control arm, kind of like a mini version of Voltron. This arm uses two commonly sized joints and bearings on either side of it, which are both PTFE lined for your pleasure. This arm has on-car adjustment, as well as a lock stop to stop your fun if you feel so inclined. This thing is also thick with 3 C's, aka as thick as your excuses for not ever getting your car running into an event. Now that you've met all the little bits of our Voltron kit, let's get to installing. First step is to remove the OEM LCA from the car, obviously. So start by loosening and removing the link pin lower nut and popping the link pin off of the sway bar. Then head over and remove the lower ball joint nut, moving the knuckle assembly out of the way for now. Head up and loosen the damper and coilover nut. Now for those not in the know, the sway bar end link pin is the bolt that goes through the damper mount. So now is the time to pull the sway bar link out of the assembly and loosen and remove the nuts and bolts from the front and rear of the bracket. This will free up the rear of the arm real good like. Now head to the front side of the arm and loosen and remove the nut and bolt that's securing it to the subframe. Once that's loosened and removed, wiggle that OEM hunk of aluminum out however your heart sees fit. Heading over to the bench, let's get that stuff disassembled so we can reassemble the Voltron on the car. Start by removing the hardware from the compression rod mount. Take said naked compression rod mount and pop that on top of the subframe, installing the inward side longer bolt from the bottom to the top, threading that in, then the outward side bolt from the top to the bottom, threading that into the washer and nut, then tightening it down as well. Once snug, go ahead and torque to the specs shown on the screen, then head to the inner one and tighten and torque that to these specs as well. We've now given your new LCA a safe place to mount to. Neat. Now go ahead and disassemble the damper mounting bracket. Remove the two lower nuts, washers, and bolts, then the center insert, bolt, washer, spacer, and nut holding that on. Once you've got another nude bracket in your hand, let's show you the way it will install. In this case, the bracket needs to be angled towards the back of the car, depending on which side you're fitting. The pointy side of the bracket will face the ball joint bearing, aka the outside of the arm, as you can see by the way we're mounting it on your very screen. Now these are left and right hand specific, so please for the love of God and all that is holy, don't mess this up. So get your properly angled bracket and set it on top of the LCA, sliding the bolt and washer top to bottom through the two holes that have been pre-drilled for your convenience. Now these parts were engaged, but since you're definitely an ordained minister, it's time to marry the ever-living crap out of them. Tighten them both down, then go ahead and torque to the specs shown on the screen. Add in any valves they may have missed. Since we'll be installing this arm separately, we're going to talk about adjustments separately since they are installed at different times. Like we always mention, let's talk about safe max adjustment length. Set it here and then adjust inward to your desired length. In this case, we're talking about 79 US millimeters from the base of the arm to the center of the bearing. That's made up of 29 millimeters from the end of the arm to the end of the extender and 50 from the end of the lock nut to the center of the bearing. We will be winding these all the way in based off of what our setup needs, so your results may vary. The shortest length you can run comes in at 39 millimeters, measuring the same way as before. Now that we have the arm where we want, we can slap Voltron's left foot on in. Slide the ball joint shank through the bearing side and pop it down into the knuckle as shown here. Pop the washer and nut on the bottom, getting it hand tight for now, and head to the inside of the arm, where you're going to line everything up and pop the bolt through, tossing the nut on the other side. Now dangle your coilover or damper or whatever the kids are calling them these days into place. Now the lovely engineers at GKTECH have designed this to make the sway bar link and the damper separately adjustable, meaning the closer inward you go, the softer it will be, and the further out you go, the stiffer it will be. OEM is going to be the second most outer hole available to you as shown here on this very screen lined up all pretty. Pop the washer and bolt through from the front, with the washer and the nut on the back side, tightening, then torquing down to the specs shown here on the screen. Now here's where you have more choices. The closest point for the end link to mate is the furthest hole inward. The more you go outward, the stiffer it will be, i.e. if you run it through the strut eyelet, you won't need the insert. We are going OEM style with this setup, so follow along. Insert the insert in the hole as shown here. Pop the link pin through, and on the back side, pop the provided spacer and the nut. Then head back down and pop the other side of the end link into the sway bar itself and toss the nut back on, leaving it hand tight for now. This needs to be loosey-goosey to let the compression arm line up here in a few. Don't worry my dudes, a torquing rampage shall ensue. Trust me, I'd never let you down on that side of things. And back to the bench, grabbing Voltron's head, aka the compression arm side of the assembly. First, remove the inserts from the bearing, and now we shall explain our proprietary engineered new independent system hex assist driven locking engagement, or PENISHANDLE for short. Meaning, as we have designed this extender to lock internally, as it saved a ton of space, which is much needed for this setup. As you can see, we're winding the adjuster all the way out, removing the rose joint from the extender. Once that's out, the magic of the PENISHANDLE is that it hides in the extender. Plunge your Allen key deep into the extender, give it a twist, and you'll see the little internal lock nut that could appear as if out of thin air. This is designed to butt against the rose joint and the threads, locking everything down and keeping it from moving around all willy-nilly. Putting everything back together and reinstalling the assembly, let's talk max safe adjustment again, which just so happens to be exactly the same as the other side, aka 79 millimeters from the end of the rod to the middle of the bearing, which in turn again is made up from 29 from the arm to the extender end and 50 from the extender end to the middle of the bearing. And if you were to wind this all the way inward, which we are doing on this amazingly satisfying demo, and Jesus H, is that satisfying? You have 39 millimeters measuring from end of arm to middle of bearing, which is where we're leaving it for this install. We will be tightening the little lock nut later on, so leave it loose until we say otherwise. Now loosen and remove the nuts, washers, and bolts from the other side and reinsert said inserts into the heim, and let's get back to the car, shall we? Install the rose jointed side to the compression arm mounting bracket and leave the other side resting on top of the arm for now. Now, the compression arm does have a curve to it, which the doctor said was completely normal, so leave it alone, okay? You want it to be bending away from the inner tie rod so they don't smash into each other, capiche? Awkwardly head over to the compression rod mount and pop the washer and bolt through as best you can. Then head to the other side and pop the washer and nut on. Now install the 3 main bolts and washers through the compression arm, dressing them up with the washers and nuts on the other side. Also, I do feel a torque rampage coming in real quick like, just not yet. Head over to the ball shank and tighten and torque the lower ball joint down to the specs shown here. Then head to the top side of that same shaft and tighten and torque that nut down to these specs as well. You do not need a washer at the top as this was designed to be tightened directly against the bearing for high misalignment action. And with those two things done, ladies and gents, it's time for that rampage. I've been brewing for the last 28 minutes of your life. Begin by tightening the LCA inner nut and bolt, then torque down to the specs shown right here whilst holding the other side with a wrench. Then head to the compression rod mount and tighten and torque to these specs as well. Head down below and zap all 3 of the bolts marrying the arms together from the inside out, then torque them down in the same sequence to the specs shown on the very screen. Pop over and say hello to the sway bar end link, then slap it in the face with the torque specs, shown here whilst holding its cute little notch with a wrench. Then head to the top of the end link and tighten and torque that to those specs as well, in the same fashion. And thank you for participating in our torque rampage. It was an honor and a privilege to be your host on that journey of discovery. Now that everything is torqued and married and or both, let's talk on-car adjustment, shall we? Jesus, this video never ends, does it? These arms have been conveniently designed to be adjusted on the car, which is super rad IMO. If you were to want to adjust the lateral arm, you could do so by adjusting it as shown here to your desired specs. To adjust the length in or out, you would simply adjust both ends at the same time as shown here in this technologically advanced split screen demo. Now to adjust the almighty caster, you would follow these steps. First, make sure the locking bolts on the front and back of the bracket are loose. The entire assembly pivots on this, and if it's tight like a tiger, you're going to do nothing but break things. Then wind the extender inwards or outwards towards the front or the rear of the arm, depending on your desired setting. Now to help out with the visualization, if the arm pivots towards the front of the car, you're giving positive, aka more caster, and if you shoot it towards the rear of the car, it's negative or less caster. Once you're done messing around with our awesome on-car adjustments, take a gander at your bearings. Make sure they're all running vertically and not cocked to the left or the right, but centered just like my chi. Now it's time to tighten down the PENISHANDLE, aka the little hito lock nut, by running that sucker in counterclockwise, aka lefty tighty, so that it bottoms out against the bearing. This step is mucho importante. Once it's tight, the bearing and the extender will be mated as one, so adjust the bearing using the large extender hex so that it's running centrally. Again, not cocked to the left or right. Head inwards, and because you're happy with length and caster, which in our case is set to OEM, and we know this as it's sitting perpendicular to the mounting bracket, we can safely lock it all up. Tighten and torque the locking bracket bolts to the specs shown on the screen, and tightening that down will happily pinch everything together once you've done that. Once done, lock it all down by tightening that locking bolt for the extender and the heim, and then torque that bad boy into place. The final step, 8 whole days later of watching this how-to, is to replace the lower caliper bolt with the low pro unit that we've provided, since we are chasing every single degree of angle that we can, and that big old hex head is not doing us any favors. Loosen and remove that guy and pop the Allen head bolt in, and tighten, then torque down to the specs shown here. And Lord have mercy on your ever-eternal sinning soul, you're done. You've been watching this video longer than Tom Hanks was best friends with a volleyball, though you've probably looked just as haggard and soulless as he did by the end. But hey, you have the best LCA kit on the market for the old 370Z chassis, and will finally prove to your buds who said you overpaid for the car that it can party like any regular old 350Z can. Cue the elevator music for these dank pans, and pat yourself on the backs. This was a doozy. Speaking of doozies, these are the boys that make these videos happen, and what a video this was, setting records for both length and girth all at once, which is a first for all of us. If you can't or don't want to install these, link this video to a pro and have them charge you a lot of money to do it, or email us with any questions you may have or just to say hi. This has been Officer Dan, Johnny Caps, and Torn Arm Joint Zach with another GKTECH How To. Peace.